Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. So if you saw our Playhouse Makeover, there was a ton of stuff that we left out because otherwise the video would have been too long. So today I'm going to show you how I made the little bench for the planter box, the light, and also some other things that we added after the video, like curtain rods. Family Dollar has definitely got the best curtain rods. They're only $3.50 and super lightweight in different colors and styles. And they even have brackets if you do have your own. So I'm going to show you how we just added ours. It is super duper easy and definitely changes the look. However, I haven't added curtains just yet. We were going to add them to the bay window, but it is shaped a little awkwardly. You would either have to make it really, really short or extremely long because the walls are a little funky. So we added them to the side ones. This was really easy. My husband just used the corners of the panels as a guide. He made some markings and then drilled 2 pilot holes and then went ahead and drilled the bracket. This is really lightweight, so you don't have to worry about it adding excessive weight to the house, even though this house is massive and really, really heavy. Another thing you'll notice is that we don't have any of our drain holes in. This has really, really helped with keeping spiders away. It's not giving up a private little suite. So every time we go into the house, we don't see a single spider. And I definitely think it's because the drain holes are not there. So now we just measured so that I can make some curtains, and he put in the other side. And I think that it looks really good. It's gonna look a lot better when I actually make some curtains for this. Ari,
yes.
Is your sink broken?
Yeah. Okay, I'll fix. Now.
For the shutters, we went ahead and added the same handles as the doors, and we used tiny screws for this. Everybody commented how she should have some way to close a door, so we definitely listened.
Is your doghouse?
So basically my husband just made his markings, made the pilot holes as you would, and then drilled it in. Even Gigi was helping out with the process. To get the other shutter, we just kind of closed it, aligned it with the other one to make sure that it is nice and straight, and then did the same thing. Pilot holes, then drilled it in with these smaller screws. So now she has a way to comfortably close the door, which is awesome. And now we're going to move on to the bench and the light, which are 2 of the coolest features in the house. For the bench, I actually ended up using paint sticks from Lowe's. These are 98 cents, and it was the night before the video. I couldn't figure out how to screw in that flower pot, and I thought this would be perfect. I had it on hand from a Dollar Tree project. So I figured, why not just make a little bench? So I lined up 5 popsicle sticks, and I had the little handle part, one facing up, one facing down. I used my square tool to make sure everything was nice and straight. And then I measured out the width of this, which ended up being 7 inches, and I cut down 4 pieces of wood to 7 inches. Actually, I ended up cutting 6 pieces of wood because of the side panel. So I'm going to go ahead and add a piece to each side, and I'm doing this using Gorilla wood glue. So this is really, really easy. Just make sure that the sides are nice and straight. Let it dry before you move on, and once it dries completely, you're going to want to flip this over and do the exact same thing. So I went ahead and flipped it over, and then I added the other 2 pieces that I cut down, which are 7 inches as well. And you can put this further wherever you want to put it, wherever you feel is the stress point, but I just put it exactly where the other ones were as well. So that your stir sticks don't shift out of the way, please do not touch it until it is completely dry. And once it is dry, you are going to want to add your side pieces. I should have probably put something underneath before having this dry, but I went ahead and took some extra pieces of wood and put it underneath so that my side pieces are nice and aligned. So I added this using my Gorilla wood glue as well on each side. And if you have some clamps or anything to keep that up, then definitely use that. Just make sure that you are always checking that it is nice and straight. And now I'm going to add 2 more stir sticks to the side to kind of cover that up. So I'm adding some wood to the bottom, and then I am going to add those pieces. If you're uncomfortable with the fact that there's a little gap, you can always add a popsicle stick. And then I used this dowel. I got it at Lowe's, and they actually cut it down. It is 4 feet, so I cut it into 12-inch pieces. And when I took it home, since they were rough cuts, I made sure to sand it down really, really well, just so I don't get any splinters and so that it looks a lot nicer and neater. So now that they are nice and neat and completely straight, then I'm going to go ahead and attach to that using Gorilla Wood glue as well, and I'm going to do that on each corner, trying to make sure that they are nice and aligned, even though this is a little hard. I'm going to let it dry completely, and now I'm going to add another piece of wood. This part is optional, but I just had left over and I felt it would look a little better, so I added it to where the legs were. And if you do have a brad nailer, after doing all of this, definitely consider securing this by the legs. So now that it is completely dry, you can go ahead and use a brad nailer if you have one and add some nails to the four corners where the legs are, as well as the side planks so that it doesn't move, because you are going to have the legs where you can adjust it. After you've added your nails, if you do have a brad nailer, you can go ahead and paint it or stain it. I painted mine, but make sure that you are adding some sort of sealer so that you can put this outdoors and not have it get ruined. I used the spar urethane. You can get it at any hardware store. And then I went ahead and added it to my house. So now we're moving on to the light, and this is probably the easiest. I actually used a candle lid. The candle lid fit perfectly in that little hole where the clock was, and then I went over to Lowe's and bought a ton of little PVC pieces. I kind of just stood in the aisles and checked what fit with what, and these are the 3 pieces that I came up with, but you might come up with other pieces. So this is what I have, and basically, I just kind of put it together to make it look like a little industrial farmhouse lamp. So some pieces did have to be glued together because they didn't fit perfectly, but I did use some E6000 for this. I made sure that I liked the look and the fit, and then I added a really, really generous amount of E6000. I really love the hold of E6000, but if there is a better adhesive that you want to use, then go ahead and use that. One thing that I did forget to show is that I did drill a hole in the candle holder, and this is where I'm going to put that little screw that comes with the clock that comes with the house, and that's going to help it push into place on the house itself. So now I'm going to add some E6000 to that PVC piece that I built and then place it right in the center of that hole. I'm going to make sure that it dries really well, which is why I have tape all over it. And now I'm going to use this bowl from Dollar Tree. They come 3 to a pack, so you can make 3 different lights. And now I'm going to bind it using some E6000. You can add a washer for extra security. That's up to you. Make sure that it dries really well and straight. And for the light, I used these puck lights. I mentioned it in the video. They come in a pack of 6, and I'll link them below, but they have a remote so you never have to touch it. I gave it a coat of flat black spray paint. You can also do whatever color you want. Make sure that you spray very, very lightly because mine did end up dripping. And once it dries, you just kind of push it into place. You can rim it with some E6000 and tape it into place. That's up to you. But then you have this super duper cool light. Just add your puck light. I added mine afterward. And now you can turn it on and off and use the rest of your puck lights everywhere else in your house. So that's it. That's how we created all of the accessories and some extra tips. And I really hope that you enjoy this video. If you do, please be sure to give us a thumbs up and also turn on that notification bell because we do have another Playhouse video coming very soon. As usual, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.
Washing my hands. Bye everybody. Subscribe.